Craig here again, doing another Flat Earth video. I'm kind of surprised. I posted Flat Earth videos years past, and you always get all kinds of thumbs down and negative comments. And they send the cult sends their hive out to attack anybody that shows them wrong. They can't stand people proving they're wrong. And it's very easy to do, obviously. But this will be another nail in the coffin of the Flat Earth cult, because frankly they must be dying, because the one from last week that I posted, it's actually got more thumbs up than thumbs down. I couldn't believe it. What the hell's happening here? I think they're finally realizing that their charade is over with. But this will be yet another nail in the coffin, this video, because we're going to be talking about modern day space travel. Yeah, we have companies coming on board that are now actually sending, private companies that are sending rockets into space. Yeah, Flat Earthers say there is no space, there is no satellites, rockets are fake, it can't be done, on and on and on. They'll come up with all kinds of answers and you prove they're wrong, and then they'll just come back and the final default answer is Illuminati, shill. Yeah, that's their final answer for everything. That's the last vestige of hope of a dying flat-brainer. But here we have now, and the most popular one being SpaceX. SpaceX is a private company by Elon Musk, the guy that does the Teslas, yeah. So if you pay $80,000 for a Tesla, you're helping put these rockets into space. And he's the one that also had starting the beginning trends of PayPal that got bought out by PayPal, the company that later became PayPal. Now, Elon Musk of SpaceX has already announced that they're going to be launching astronauts into space, real people. These first ones will be NASA personnel going to the space station. And Elon Musk also says, at least by current projections, now keep in mind SpaceX is notorious for missing their deadlines, but presently they're saying in 2019, and there's already paying customers that have put down large deposits to be able to go up into space, private people going up into space, go around the moon, come back, and land safely on Earth. This is the assertion by SpaceX, and with already people wanting to take this trip. The trip lasts like 5 days or something. So this is already in the works. We already have these private companies going to be sending private citizens into space. What are you Flat Earthers going to do when people start bringing home their home videos showing what I'm going to be showing you here later in this video? What are you going to do? That's the most popular one. We also have a company called Blue Origin. Blue Origin has also been launching rockets into space. Now this headed by Jeff Bezos of Amazon fame. So if you use Amazon, you're helping to pay for these rockets being put into space by Jeff Bezos. Has already announced that it's going to be launching private citizens into space also. Now here in 2018, they do plan on launching some of their own personnel on board in 2018. And present projections are maybe at the end of 2018, the first private citizens will start flying aboard this New Shepard capsule. So again, what are you people going to do when real people come back with their space pictures? Their vacation pictures from space. It's getting awfully hard to live to be a flat earther anymore, isn't it? But we're going to be concentrating on Blue Origin for this particular video because they have a video that pretty much proves something that the flat earthers have always dreaded for a long time. And that is a full video, unedited, from ground level all the way up to space, showing it go from flat to a curve, because all kinds of flat earthers will say, oh, just show me a video like that and I'll go away. Well, it's time for you to go away. First, let's start out with the curve in fisheye camera lenses. This is part of the problem, because we have videos like this where we're launching rockets and there's actually cameras mounted to the side of the rockets. There's a lot of videos on this with rockets with cameras mounted on the side, but unfortunately the lenses typically are fisheye type lenses with distorts straight lines, and we're going to give you an example of that right here with a balloon launch. This is somebody had a video on YouTube with a balloon launch with a camera on board, and as you go through this, you can see, if you watch, you'll see the horizon distort pretty dramatically from cupped to crowned, back to flat again, and it just keeps on going. So this is part of the problem. This is obviously a fisheye lens, because if we stop and give you some stills here, you can see in the stills, when I put a cross eye in the middle, you can see when it's below a certain point, the horizon is cupped. When it's level with the middle of the camera lens, the ground looks flat. And when the camera lens, when the horizon is above the crosshairs, you can see that it's crowned. So obviously this is a fisheye lens, and all those, not all of them, but most of the ones we have on the sides of rockets are actually fisheye type lens, maybe not as drastic as that one, and so they can distort the curve, the shape of the horizon. So granted that, so as long as you understand that from the beginning, now we're going to proceed. Proceed with these pictures from Blue Origin now. Now they launched in December of 2017. They launched a New Shepard with a mannequin on board. The mannequin, another goofy millionaire trick, they call this Mannequin Skywalker. Yeah, if you watch Star Wars, you know what that was relating to. So Jeff Bezos launched this in Blue Horizon New Shepard, Mannequin Skywalker, and we're going to be going through 4 different images. But first, let's show you the actual film of the launch sped up, so you can see, because this is what we have. In this video that's been released by Blue Origin, we see a launch from the ground all the way up into space, and then it comes back down again after it separates from the main rocket. The main rocket lands safely vertically on the ground, and the capsule comes down by parachute and lands safely on land, not on water, with retro rockets to fire at the last second, so it only hits at about 1 mile an hour. So we have that video, but unfortunately during this time, this video, as you saw, it was going back and forth between scenes, cuts. There's 2 cameras on board inside this capsule. So the capsule, unfortunately, and although it's not a fisheye lens, you can see that they do cut. So what we've done here is now, in that video, there's a full 2.5 minutes roughly where you can see where there is no cuts. And we can start here with it near ground level. This is actually the first cut in the video. I'm taking the very first frame of the second cut. This is when the rocket is probably less than 1,000 feet off the ground, but it had already launched at this point. But you can see the horizon looks pretty flat. Then as the rocket goes up, and this is sped up very fast, obviously, and then it goes up to the end of this before it cuts off into the other view, the other camera, you can see that the Earth has a curve to it. We can watch that again. And again, if you like. So this is the segment of video that you want to use to all your flat-brainers out there that say there is no such video. Well, there it is. Now, to fight the assertion of the flat earthers that the horizon never leaves eye level. It never drops below eye level. That's their assertion. Well, here we can prove that wrong too. Let's continue to work with the 2 photos we've been working with so far. The first one at about 500 to 1,000 feet off the ground. Then we isolate that. Then the photo right before it cut to the next scene, about 2.5 minutes later, showing the curve, and we isolate that one. Then we bring the 2 together side by side, and you can see the difference not only in the curve, but also the horizon level. Now we have a second set of stills that we can work with from this video. This is 90 degrees directly to the side of the window and the mannequin. And this is when the rocket is still on the ground, has not launched yet. And we can take an isolation of the window and enlarge it. Then we can look at the second still 90 degrees to the window, relative to the window, when it was much higher on its apex. And you can see the curve. Then we can isolate it and enlarge it. And then we can put the 2 side by side, and you can very clearly see a drop in the horizon and flat versus curved. Remember, both these cameras are fixed and inside the capsule. These are the largest windows in space history. They measure more than 2 foot by 3 foot. Room for 5 passengers that go aboard this rocket. They're situated just like Mannequin Skywalker is here, in a circle around the edge of the capsule, and each one has its own window. Each passenger has its own window. There you have it. Isn't space fun? To all you flat earthers who say there's no full disk images of the entire Earth with one shot, well, you lie. There's thousands of them from multiple satellites from multiple countries. About every 5 to 10 minutes, in fact. Live. You can even look at the cloud patterns in the sky and compare them to the full disk images you can download yourself to compare and show that they're real. And to all those flat earthers that said, all you got to do is mount a camera on a rocket and from beginning to end, and I'll believe you. I'll believe you. It comes all the way goes from flat to up to space, and then I'll go away. Well, guess what? It's now time for you to go away. You are entitled to your own opinions, not your own facts.